Hello, welcome to the channel. On this channel, this is my first video under this channel. I'm planning on doing football film reviews, football analysis, and anything else that anyone requests. If you're watching the video and think this is something you could get into, please like and subscribe and show people around you that might be interested as well. So today, for my film analysis, I'm going to go over Anthony Richardson, quarterback out of Florida. Second year for Anthony Richardson. He was injured his first year, so he had very limited action, but he showed promise. He's got a very talented arm, and he can run the ball. Kind of Cam Newton, Josh Allen-esque. He stands at 6'4", 244 pounds, and you did run 4.43 at the NFL Combine. He's definitely a talented and arguably one of the most athletic, if not the most athletic football player we have ever seen at the position. So week one, he opened against Houston, where they took a loss, 29-27. He completed 9 of 19 passes with a completion percentage of 47.4. He had 212 yards, which averages out to 11.2 yards per completion, which is incredible. He was great down the field. He had 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. That 1 interception was questionable. It was not a great ball. But in this game, he made some of the most ridiculous throws that you will ever see a quarterback make in the National Football League. Some that you will just look at and say only Anthony Richardson with his arm talent can make that play. Next week, they faced off against the Green Bay Packers, my personal favorite team, and they took a loss 16-10. Anthony Richardson did not play as well in this game. He had 17 completions on 34 yards, slightly increasing his completion percentage to around 50%, but he had 204 yards instead of the 212 on 8 more completions, so his average yards per completion went down from 11 to 6, and he ended with 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions, and all 3 of these interceptions were real. And there was one on a Hail Mary, but he threw an actual real interception that should have been caught, but was dropped by Packers middle linebacker Quay Walker earlier in the drive, where he just reads it and drops back and should have picked him off to seal the game. So Anthony Richardson really did throw 3 interceptions this game. And the game that I'm personally going to be looking over for the film is the Chicago Bears, where they actually took the win 21-16. Anthony Richardson in this game completed 10 of 20 for a completion percentage of around 50%, 167 yards. He averaged 8.4 yards per completion, and he had no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I think he underperformed this game a little bit, especially with the struggling Bears offense. I think he could have played a little bit better, even though the Bears defense is quite exceptional. And if you look at the sack numbers, he's only been sacked 4 times throughout these first 3 weeks. So the O-line is holding up pretty solid for Anthony. The Colts O-line is obviously one of their stronger parts of their unit. They have guys like Quinn Nelson and a good core throughout, and they are a good pass blocking and run blocking with a unit, especially when they have to block for a guy like Jonathan Taylor, which is one of the most versatile and elite backs in the league as of right now. So I'm going to go over this Bears game. We're going to look over some clips, and we will look how he performed, if there's some things he can do better, what he can do better, and we'll look over that. Before we start looking at plays that I would quantify as either a good play or a bad play from Anthony Richardson, let's look at one that's just interesting to look at. So right down here, we're looking at the receiver in the slot here. This is Josh Downs. He returned from injury this week. Chemistry might be a little off between Anthony Richardson and Josh Downs, but this is a play that both of them can be credited with a little blame here. In coverage is Kyler Gordon. He's going to back up and move a little bit more towards the inside part of the field, leaving this quick out for Josh Downs completely wide open, as we can see when we watch this play here. So Anthony Richardson out of the shotgun there. You can see Kyler Gordon back up and completely through the hands of Josh Downs. What you can notice about this ball from Anthony Richardson is the velocity that this ball comes in. It's a quick ball, and if he hits that in stride, there's no reason he would need to throw that ball with such velocity. So you can see here he drops 1, 2. He hesitates a little bit, even though that's his obvious number 1 read, and he has to throw it so hard, and it's not the most accurate ball, as we can see, as it hits Josh Downs right in about the face mask area, where it kind of makes him hard. Like I said, this is not something that I put necessarily on Anthony Richardson, but it's something to note because when watching Colts film, you do see an increased amount of drops than you do when watching other teams around the league, whether that's based on Anthony Richardson's ball velocity or just on poor receiver play is to be seen. It did not take long to find our first Anthony Richardson lowlight of the day, unfortunately. So this is the play immediately after the one we actually just watched. So we're going to be looking at Alec Pierce, the receiver on the top of your screen. You got Josh Downs in the stop, Michael Pittman down at the bottom. He's going to be looking for Alec Pierce on a little comeback route here. And as we watch here, Anthony Richardson is snapping the ball out of the shotgun. We're going to watch Alec Pierce run up the field and find the soft spot in the Bears zone. It's actually a beautifully ran route by Alec Pierce here, who's actually had kind of a breaking out party for the Colts. He's played very well. He's a very good deep threat, which we saw in college coming out of the University of Cincinnati. Anthony Richardson, like I said, he stops. He hesitates a little bit. Great protection by the O-line. And if you're looking at it here, it's perfect. Anthony, he's right in the hole. Kevin Byard is screaming down on him, but there's more than enough time, especially with Anthony Richardson's power he can get behind his ball to fit that ball in, but he airmails him, and Alec Pierce gets a little hit there, but nothing he can't handle. We'll watch this one more time just to see how bad of an airmail this is. This is not a good play. That's a play you need to make as an NFL quarterback. That is known as wide open. Here's an interesting play from Bears Colts. Anthony Richardson looking like a rookie. He practically is, so I won't judge him. But here's a play. Montez Sweat beats the Colts right tackle off the edge, gets a hold of Anthony Richardson. He tries to escape, and he throws the ball not to one of his receivers or the turf trying to throw it away. He throws it to Bears defensive tackle Andrew Billings. And it's an incredible play by Andrew Billings to get his hands on this and actually pick it off. Because as we'll see, it's not the easiest pick, but there we go. Montez Sweat gets a hold of him. Here, why does Anthony Richardson not throw away that ball right here? I'll show you where I'm looking, because he holds onto the ball way too long. So Montez Sweat beats the right tackle here. Why are you not throwing the ball here? He holds it for another second and gets stripped from behind by, I believe that's Dexter. And Andrew Billings right there picks it off. This was actually considered a fumble because or it was an incomplete pass because of the forward-moving hand by Anthony Richardson, but still is a mind-boggling play. How do you not throw that away quicker? I don't know if you're Anthony Richardson. He's practically a rookie. He only played a total of 24 games in college, and this is about his 8th game in the NFL, so we will give him some breaks here, but this is a total rookie lapse of judgment here. It's bad. It's not a good play. And you got to feel for the Colts center there. That was not his fault in any way. Yeah, rookie mistake there by Anthony Richardson. Let's highlight a good play by Anthony Richardson here. Here's a throw that he needs to make, and he does make. So we're going to be looking at Alec Pierce again. Great player. At the top of our screen, going against Jalen Johnson, the Bears' #1 corner, who is all-pro level player, very underrated. So Anthony Richardson takes the snap, great coverage by the O-line, no pressure, and throws a beautiful ball in between the safety and Jalen Johnson there. It's a beautiful ball. It's a perfectly thrown ball. And here we'll see the coverage and the pass protection from the O-line. Great, perfect pocket, and he just lasers it down the field. If I want to be picky, you could say it's a little underthrown, and if he puts that in the bucket, the receiver could maybe make a run down the field, but that is honestly being picky. He makes the throw in between the safety. It's a nice hole shot down the seam at what looks like a single high safety. Great play. Jaquan Brisker does not have the range to get over there. It's a great play by Anthony Richardson, and one of his only highlights in the night, but it's a good highlight for sure. Anthony Richardson follows up that beautiful read and beautiful pass with maybe one of the worst interceptions you will see in your lifetime. So the Colts are in a cool little formation here with 3 players in the backfield, 2 tight ends, and Jonathan Taylor with 1 receiver up top. And what's going to happen here is it's going to be a read option play where Anthony Richardson keeps it and runs to the left-hand side of the sideline here. What Anthony Richardson is going to do is absolutely shocking. You'll see him take the snap, he keeps it himself, and he holds it right here. What I would like to ask you is, what do you think Anthony Richardson does here? Do you think he dumps it off to the receiver right here that maybe has a chance to beat the smaller body corner into the end zone? Or do you think he forces this ball right here that's pretty well covered by Jaquan Brisker, having to sidearm it past this jumping linebacker? The answer is, I'm not going to make you think about it too long. He tries to force this ball, and it goes directly to Tremaine Edmonds, Bears middle linebacker. We'll watch this play again from this angle and just see the pure gall of this throw by Anthony Richardson. It's bad. Like, this is as bad as it gets interception-wise for quarterbacks. He trusts his arm too much here, and it's a wobbler. It's a duck, and it just goes to the opposite team. And that's 7 points off the board. 3 points if you were going to kick the field goal. So it's just a terrible play you can't make. And this is why I say there's more negatives of this game than positives. That's a back-breaking play by Anthony Richardson you just can't make. This is the final play I'll look at from Anthony Richardson. This is his second interception of the day. As you can see, the stat line, that's why I'm looking at it in the game view instead of the all-22. At this point in the game, he's under 50% completion percentage with 117 yards in interception. He's going to throw his second interception of the day here on what is a pretty terrible ball by Anthony Richardson. You don't need the all-22 to see what he was looking at here. So a little pressure is going to come at Anthony Richardson off the left side end here, and he steps up and he overthrows Michael Pittman Jr. by a mile to Jalen Johnson, who he just beat previously when targeting Alec Pierce. And as you see, the Bears players get absolutely stoked for this because they were handed a free defensive stop by Anthony Richardson's overconfidence in his own arm. It's a terrible play, fake play action, steps up, throws. He's wide open. Michael Pittman is wide open. And at this point, the Colts offense is being held back by Anthony Richardson's poor QB play. I'll play it one more time because it's just not good. I loved Anthony Richardson coming out of college, but I was concerned about this one thing, which is his terrible accuracy problems. His accuracy has led him to throw interceptions like this, and the interception we saw before, and the highlighted missed throw that I highlighted earlier in this video. But overall, it was not a great showing by Anthony Richardson. They did come back to win this game. Anthony Richardson played better throughout the course of the second half and did what he had to win, but didn't necessarily impress, to say the least. There was more I could say about Anthony Richardson's performance, but the Colts relied heavily on Jonathan Taylor in the second half. As we can see, he has scored 2 of the 3 touchdowns, with Trey Sermon actually getting some looks with 2 rushes for 16 yards. Anthony Richardson, unfortunately, also hasn't been using his legs as much as I would like to see him, as it's one of the best parts of his game. Maybe the Colts offense is trying to keep him away from that, seeing as that's how he kind of got injured last year. But yeah, if you watch the entire second half of that game, there's nothing noteworthy. It's a lot of screen game by the Colts, and it's a huge dose of Jonathan Taylor. As we look, receivers are playing fine, underperforming a little bit. What a good game, by the way. I'll just shout out Jalen Jones. He had an incredible game. 4 tackles, 1 assist, 2 interceptions. He was all over Caleb Williams, who actually had not the worst game. If you want me to break down Caleb Williams' game, you can ask for it in the comments. Otherwise, that's it for today, folks. I appreciate you tuning in to the Anthony Richardson film study here. If you enjoy, please like, please follow, and request another player you would like me to look at. I would love to look at the players that you would like me to look at, because that boosts engagement, and I want to help you guys look at who you want to see. Have a good day, guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in.